Hey everyone, it's Vision. Do you like shoes, crime, debauchery, and feet? Yeah, I know you do. So I decided to move to Shit City because I heard good things. You know what? This one's on me. I moved here, a city where all crime is legal. Even the kids are raised on crime. Why did I move here? No taxes. Before we start, let's talk about the game a bit, and spoiler warnings for the entire game. AngerFoot is a fast-paced FPS shooter based on 3 goals. Grab your shoes, go fast, and get creative. For each mission, you can get up to 3 stars, 1 star for completing the mission, and 2 for completing the level with specific goals. Each mission has a unique goal set, such as completing with only your feet, finishing in seconds, or not even killing anything. The wild ones are like completing with specific sneakers, like for everyone you kick, they turn into a bomb. And speaking of sneakers, each star you get, you start unlocking new sneakers. Some missions even require to use specific sneakers that you may not have access to yet to complete the mission. I recommend for the first playthrough, go for the 3 stars, but after about 10 attempts, just move on, come back. Unless you're a masochist, take your time. It's a good game. So let's get into the story and into the city. Don't forget, everyone's in a gang. The 4 gangs that are running the city are the violence gang, the pollution gang, the business gang, and of course, the debauchery gang. All are under the management of the crime minister. We know that Goo Cop from the violence gang took our shoes, so he's first. A big part of this world is the enemies. The violence gang has the hoods, crocodiles, dogs, prison mics, bombers, and the birdies, each with their own weapons. And of course, you can take their pistols, max 10s, and of course, you already have your feet, your main weapon, dogs, they're hanging out, or if you want to be lame, you can cover them up with some sneakers. You can equip different shoes that give you different boosts, and also can change the enemies in the world and how you affect them. This is required to get some stars, and for most achievements actually, and stars, you really need to use specific sneakers to do them, and it really affects the game. It can make it more interesting when you have low gravity, everyone turns into a bomb when you kick them, it makes their heads bigger. How this all started is I wanted some new pair of primo sneakers. I need 1 more pair and I'll have the full collection. So I meet this anonymous guy for some free sneakers in an alley. He gets robbed. I take him out. I get my sneakers. I get home, and unfortunately, Goo Cop, he knows where I live, takes all my shoes. So I gotta kill him. After running through, beating baddies, taking their weapons, throwing weapons, kicking people in the face, knocking them off rooftops and windows, we finally reach him at the rooftop party in his Goo Cop copter. This fight was fun and easy. Dodge the train and smack it after it passes. The fun part is when he gets drifting on the rooftop. Normally this fight's a bit longer, but he basically drove off right immediately. After he drove himself off, we end up getting our primo shoes, but only one of them. It turns out the pollution gang has our second pair. So we gotta go hunt them down. Between some missions, you get to explore the city and the exciting people there. You get to see and meet people, talk to them and get to know their customs and their unique ways. You even get to meet the children, the future of Shit City. So the next stop, pollution gang. These guys are the type to stand outside a grocery store asking you to sign their petition for throwing batteries in the ocean and Mr. Burns' level of pollution. Here you run into Hand Bros, Tentacles, Baddie, 2319, and Naked Bat Guy. This adds weapons like shotguns and plungers. They even have buckets of snakes, but unfortunately you can't use the bucket of snakes. And that makes me sad. I need it in the second one, please. Pollution Gang, as you can guess, lives in a sewer. This introduces a bit more movement and parkour to dodge toxic waste and enemies, and there's a bit more verticality than the first one. The levels variations are better than the first. The one thing I like about this gang is the level of progression. Each level gets a bit harder and will slowly introduce enemies and weapons to keep things more interesting. The boss for this one I think was probably the hardest out of the gang. It was the Sludge Baron. This one taught me that different boots can really change your gameplay. It felt kind of cheaty, but using the double jump boots made this fight really easy. And honestly, without it, it's probably really annoying because as soon as you get knocked into toxic waste, you're basically dead. And yeah, this guy isn't really easy to look at pre and after. After beating him with some persuasion, we found out the business gang has the next pair, so we gotta go get our third pair. Fun fact, as you run through the game, you'll notice drinks like beer and energy drinks. Both when drinking can affect you. One will make you run super fast, one will actually make you drunk, affecting you so you can achieve some challenges, but the fun one is when you find the geckos. On to the business gang, a crime group focusing on embezzling, stealing, and making money. Think of it as you've got to make your way to work. You start on the subway, fighting through the offices and slowly going up. You run into some exciting enemies, new ones like rats, bears, ninja girls, launcher heads, and pyramid heads. You get some really fun weapons like the minigun, grenade launcher, and my favorite in the game, the AK-47. You get into some interesting fights like the elevator hell, where there's exactly 69 enemies. Nice. And the boss, the CEO, using the AK-47, it makes pretty light work of the fights. You just have to dodge the cat, then she whips out a minigun, and then she whips out a mecha suit. It was a fun fight, pretty easy with the AK-47. They litter them everywhere. The pacing was better than the sludge boss. After beating Mecha CEO, taunted by the next crime boss, the pizza pig who tries to blow us up, our girlfriend saves us, knocks him straight out of there. He has our last pair of Primo shoes. The next is the debauchery gang. Before we get there, we actually notice as we go through the world that we can see the gangs that we've already beaten are now kind of moving gang to gang. Now finally landing in the debauchery gang, even some members don't even want to be there, but they have to because it's the law. Do crime. Be in a gang. Join a community of like-minded individuals. It's very important for your health. The debauchery levels is where this game really tests you with the most complex level designs. Compared to the violence games, these rooms have a lot more corners, heights, enemies, and they really test you. Some levels remind me of John Wick with the music, the shootouts, and the mix of melee and gunplay. The devs spent a lot of time here. It's hard to appreciate a level design when you're basically speedrunning every mission, but their attention to detail shows the world that you're in. We run into a new set of enemies that will test you. Jinx, Vamps, Train, Gimps, Flamer, and Meatballs. I just want to note these aren't their actual names. You get to use dual revolvers, which are really fun to use and throw, the crossbow, which can pen and hit multiple enemies, and of course the flamethrower. The flamethrower, while fun, doesn't immediately kill enemies, so you gotta be careful. Trust me, those rats don't play. Getting to Pizza Pig, you get to experience the top tier of debauchery. The greed in the Pizza Pig, his outfits, his transformations, the fight itself is interesting. The hardest part is the boat fight, and yeah, it's the first and only time you use the boat. It's a weird last boss fight. I'm not really much of a fan of it. But hold up, it turns out the crime minister is threatening to throw some rare shoes into a fire, so we gotta stop him. We ain't gonna let that happen. We're sneakerheads, right? Right? Interestingly, starting with a car, we get to drive down to his office, smashing drifting, running over enemies, and driving right through a train. And once we get there, we run into everything. And I mean everything. Every enemy, they're everywhere. They're constantly fighting, running, dodging, throwing weapons. Levels seemingly mashed together from violence, pollution, business, debauchery gangs. This is the home base of the gang's leader. He threatened to burn our shoes. So again, we're not letting that fly. The last level, this one's a true fight. Feeling like never-ending enemies are coming from the elevators while you're mounted on an LMG, constantly shooting and even needing to hop off at some points. I even had to create a strategy to set up prior, even like starting the fight. I had to throw some weapons down the hallway consistently. And after finishing that beautiful fight, we meet the crime minister. But it turns out this was planned all along. We were just a pawn to clean up the city, and we did. We took out all 4 gangs, fighting and beating every gang and their bosses. We're given an option. Kick the shoes in the fire, and we help build a nice city. A city where there's no violence or gangs. A normal life with normal shoes, taxes. Doesn't that sound nice? A simple life. With simple shoes. 20 pairs of the same shoes. Or we tell them no. Thanks for watching, everybody. This game was fun. I highly recommend it. It gives vibes like Hotline Miami, but focus on the FPS. It's a great game. Honestly, anything that Devolver Digital publishes catches my attention. One of the few publishers that actually I check out their games every single time they talk about something. This was worth it. If it's on sale, grab it. This is one of the games I'd even pay full price for. Thanks for watching. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate you. Have a good one. Peace.